All right. So, in a turn of events, there has been a response from Katie Proudfoot of the allegations and admissions, revelations, whatever it is you want to call them, and it's very interesting to kind of break this down here. And I think she left this is a comment off of Facebook or something along those lines, and I'm going to read it to you here and react to it a little bit. The child was not 13, and we did not allow my son to be abused. We contacted all authorities. My son received all the available help he could get. Multiple therapists involved. His doctor did know because he went to the doctor and got checked immediately. Seth was involved in his therapy as well. So she's unequivocally denying the story that Seth had put out yesterday. And a lot of it, like I said, I think it was a lot of it due to frustration. And let me see where. So, I mean, she's saying the kid wasn't 13. They did alert the authorities and that he received all possible help. Now, if you kind of notice here, you know, she's very adamant with we contacted all the authorities, whoever those are, and he received all the available help he could get. Now, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But we'll move forward here a little bit. Multiple therapists involved. His doctor did know because he went to the doctor and got checked immediately. Seth was involved in his therapy as well. There is so many lies in this story, including him failing to mention where Seth got banned from the base for his violent tendencies, where at the time my son was seeing a psychiatrist and psychologist to help him with his trauma from Seth's abuse and the trauma from being assaulted by this child. First of all, my biggest issue with kind of what she's saying here is that she's alleging that that there's abuse. Now, we've heard admitted abuse from Christopher Proudfoot. He has admitted to this. And Katie didn't seem to have such a problem with Sebastian being whipped or whatever it is that Chris claims that he did. Now you try to turn it on Seth as being, violent tendencies. What are violent tendencies? Are they violent acts? It's a tendency to violence? What violence are we talking about? Are we talking about a belt spanking incident? What are we talking about here? Because it's been alleged as well that Katie Proudfoot was abusive as well. Now, all of these allegations and you can feel however you want about it. Every single family has dirty laundry, and what happens when there's trauma, when there is crisis, and whatever, this kind of stuff starts to percolate and bubble over, and that's kind of what you're seeing now. So, moving on, let me be clear. I think it is sickening that this man is airing my son's trauma online. Well, let me be clear. I think that it's sickening that you, Katie Proudfoot, did not call Seth when Sebastian went missing. I think that it was really weird that Christopher Proudfoot had to call, and he started off the conversation by saying, "Don't be upset." I think that's sickening. My son deserves better than that. When we find him, and I believe in my heart we will, the truth will come out. What truth is that? That's what I don't understand. The truth. the truth about his disappearance, okay, that we await with bated breath for the truth about that, wherever that truth may come from. The truth that she's talking about, though, is something that has already happened. And now I get it. She doesn't want to air it out or whatever it is that she's not wanting to do. But Chris was really the first one to say, well, the reason I don't want Sebastian or I don't want Sebastian around my daughter. And everybody would go, well, why would that be, Chris? Well, we got an answer. He is doing his best to slander us as parents. First of all, I don't think he's doing his best. I think he could probably do better, but okay. He's doing his best to slander us as parents, but my son is loved and cared for and always will be. This is the son that's missing that you failed to call the biological father to just maybe just on a whim. I digress. Public opinion based on lies, assumptions, half truths is rampant because of things like this, which has nothing to do with finding Sebastian. It may not have anything to do with finding Sebastian, but it could have something to do with why Sebastian went missing. There's a distinct difference. Now, I understand that you may think that it doesn't help find him, and it very well may not, but it very well may help to know why he's missing. Possibly. I will not stoop so low as to partake in the back and forth argument with him. Well, that's exactly what this is. This statement, what you're doing right here is partaking in the back and forth. So I get it. You want to walk the high road, and you're welcome to do that. However, this statement and the things that you had just said and alleged are exactly what you said that you didn't want to do. You should have called Seth. God knows the truth, and you hear this a lot too. As long as God knows the truth, everything's good with them inside. And, if that makes people sleep better at night, good for them. God knows the truth. But, other people probably want to know the truth as well. So, but what is the truth? The truth is that you have nothing to do with this. Is that the truth, or the truth is what happened? And you'll find out that maybe we know more, or maybe we don't, but we had nothing to do with this. Is that the truth? Please stop the madness and focus on finding Sebastian, because that is the most important thing. Agreed. I often wonder, I know that there are times where children, autistic children go missing, and, police or sheriffs or, a lot of times kids with autism will hide from strangers that are either shouting their name or whatever. And a lot of times parents are taken out into the woods or wherever they think that their child with autism may be missing, because they'll respond to the parents and for the calling of the child, because the child recognizes their voice. Maybe they're lost and hiding or something like that. I think it's interesting that none of that happened. It doesn't really mean anything, but I mean, it typically happens when you have a child with special needs that goes missing, or that they're searching for, or if they ran off and they're hiding because they're scared, or whatever the reason may be. And I want to say this as well. I don't believe for a second that the sheriff's department is operating like this isn't a crime. I know that their statement says that we have no evidence of a crime. They sure called in TBI and the FBI really quick. I understand calling in the search parties and all that kind of stuff, but TBI, FBI, you're not thinking that everything, that it's just a normal runaway situation. In my personal opinion, I don't think that they would think that this is such a crazy situation that they need TBI and the FBI. They've very much made it seem like it's not that crazy of a situation, that it's really, we have no idea what happened. And that may be true. That may be true. I know that they threw the kitchen sink at this, especially when he first went missing. I know that law enforcement wants to solve it. Sometimes, though, the people that either perpetrate these crimes or are responsible for these disappearances, they do a really good job of making that difficult for law enforcement. Who knows how long Sebastian had been missing? Who knows how long of a gap there was before law enforcement was called? You have that kind of from 10 o'clock to 6 in the morning window. And that's a long time. That's a very long time. A lot can happen in that amount of time. I don't necessarily believe that they have no evidence. I would assume that they have something. The only reason I assume that is because of all the agencies involved. They say they have nothing to indicate this or that. Well, they searched a landfill and they're searching a certain area, and they say it's just by happenstance. I don't believe that. And it's cop talk. And, I'll talk about the press conference another time, but, that was sort of, just kind of, hey, we're out here looking, settle down type situation. But anyway, there's Katie, not responding, but responding, and not stooping, but stooping. And look, who knows what happened? Hopefully we get those answers. And I hope that Sebastian is found soon and in good condition, and that he can continue to progress and live with his father as the plan went. Right now it's a real stumper, but I do feel bad for everybody involved, especially Sebastian, first and foremost. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please hit the like, share, and if you haven't subscribed, thank you.